Hi. Hello, hello. Welcome to Monday, September 13th. I'm here today to talk to you about Dream Weaving University. But first, I just wanted to tell you how incredible this journey has been for me and my clients. Um, One of the things that I wanted to really convey to you today during this video was the possibilities, the possibilities that are out there in terms of your connection to the divine, which is yourself, your connection to your higher self, to the inside, what's inside of you, to God, to divine beings. That connection is the one that speaks the truth, and that's the one that you get to really know. Say hi if you're here. Thank you for coming. So this week has been completely amazing. I was just chatting with someone, and it was incredible. It was like this. It was like she would say something, and I would be like, "Wait a second, I was just doing that, right?" So she was talking about the connecting to the divine feminine, and I was like, I've been feeling like I need to connect to my divine feminine, and then another friend sent me a link over the weekend, and she said, "Hey, I'm doing this. Do you want to join?" And he said, connect to your womb, feminine energy, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I need that." And okay, I'm gonna do it. So I did, and I joined, right? And so that's healing for me, right? Healing for me. And it was kind of like that, right? Like the universe was all aligned. I was feeling I needed to do work on myself on this part, and the universe is sent it to me, right? A friend sent me the link. It was the next day. I happened to have time off. My husband took care of Peter, and everything just worked, right? And I did it, and it was amazing. It was awesome. And then today I was talking with somebody else, and we were talking about the same thing. The same subject came up, right? Like I didn't bring it up, they brought it up. And I was like, yeah, I was just talking about this, and I did this, and I was explaining that. And then in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, but how exactly do you do that? Like, I still feel a little like stuck, right? I still feel like I'm not really all open. And I'm thinking this, and she starts giving me the answer, right? So, and I'm like, I just asked you that, but like with my mind, and you answered it. Like, how amazing is that, right? Like we're communicating telepathically, right? I'm thinking the question with the person that I'm having the conversation, and they're answering straight out the question that I had in my mind, right? Like before I could say anything, I just barely think the question, and the answer is already being received, is already being downloaded and given to me. And this is exactly what happens when you're connected with the divine, right? This is exactly what happens. Like when I ask my angels, when I ask my spirit guides for help or on a question or something that I need, I'm thinking the question, and I'm at the same time I'm feeling and receiving the answer. It's that quick, right? So it's like I can't even get the whole entire thought out in my mind or in my voice, because spirit knows what I'm asking, and so they start answering me. They start answering and giving me the answers right away, and it's this amazing feeling of having that connection, and having that certainty that you're able to really, really get to the core of what you need in that moment to heal, to move on, to make decisions, right? It's that amazing. I mean, I'm amazed, right? Um, and but now it's also happening with other people for me, right? And actually for them as well, because it's a two-way street, right? So now it's like I'm thinking a question, or I'm thinking of something I need to do, and it just arrives. It just arrives out of nowhere, right? And then I'm like, then I receive it, and I don't think much about it. I just act upon it. I just do it. And then voila, right? It's done. And that's the speed of the universe, right? The universe loves speed. When you are in the flow, you're receiving messages and you're taking action on it. You're receiving messages and you're taking action on it. It's not receiving the message and then sitting there thinking about it. Because what you do, what we do, when we just sit around with the message in our head and we're not actually um, taking action, is that then we start doubting it. We start doubting, like, wait, was that really what we're supposed to do? Wait, was that really what I wanted? And then your ego starts giving you the reasons of why you shouldn't, right? And then you lose it. It's like the whole thing. But when you receive that message, whether it's because it's coming from someone who's sending you a link and saying, hey, I'm doing this tomorrow. You want to do it with me? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I'll do it. Right. And then you do it without really thinking much about what it is. But like you just know inside of you that you need it. Right. That's something that's going to be beneficial for you and your soul. So then that is being in the flow. And the more that you listen to that, the more that you listen to those voices or those messages and you act upon them, then the more the universe is able to communicate with you and give you more answers to your questions. Because we're always up here in our head. We're always thinking and trying to figure things out. And, all of our brain is just like moving on and on and on. And when we take that moment to just stop and listen to what it's coming through, and it always comes really quickly and fast, and it's like the first thing that comes into your mind. That's the message, right? When you wait a little bit longer and you start kind of like going through your thoughts, and going back and forth, that's your mind or your ego, right? That you're trying to make sense out of this, and this makes no sense, really. Like, spirit makes no sense in our three-dimensional reality. It has to be with your feeling. What is it that you're feeling, right? So like my friend sent me the link and she said, hey, I'm doing this tomorrow. Do you want to do it with me? And I saw it, I read it, it resonated. And at that moment, as I'm reading it, I'm thinking, yeah, this is exactly what I need. And I was like, yes, I'm doing it, right? Like, I didn't even read exactly like what everything was supposed to happen in there. I didn't even know what it was, actually. I realized I didn't know what it was because once I got there, it was a type of breath work session, and I had no idea that's what it was. So that's what it means, right? To trust that the messages that you are receiving are what you need in that moment, right? And without really doing the extra research of looking into it and trying to make sense. Because if I had read that it was breath work, I don't like breath work. I know it works really well. I mean, I did a whole entire 3 months of that in a row, and that's what really awoken my senses and everything. But I don't really enjoy it that much. So if I had read it was breathwork, I would have been like, yeah, maybe not. And then my ego would have gotten in the way, and I would have like maybe talked myself out of doing the session, right? So being in aligned with spirit, being aligned with your higher self, is being able to listen to the messages and then act upon it right away without making sense out of it. And my ladies in Dream Weaving School, which I changed to university now, are so synchronized. I had one call me this weekend, and she was, and actually yesterday she sent me another message. She said, I received a phone call from someone that I don't usually get a phone call, and I thought, oh, what's going on with that? And then I thought, oh, maybe they just made a mistake, and maybe, and then right after that, I thought, oh, maybe something happened. Maybe something happened. Like maybe someone crossed over. And she didn't listen to it. So she didn't listen to the thought and the feeling that she had. And she just went on with her life. And then somebody else made a phone call and gave her the news that somebody had crossed over. So she got the message like that without talking to the person, right? She received it. And so she's in that, and she's like, oh my gosh, that's exactly, I knew that, like when they told me, right? Then somebody else said something else about somebody making a big announcement of a change in their life. And when they told them, She was like, oh, I already knew that. I knew that, right? And that is what it means to be really in the flow and connected with the divine, with your higher self and with your own knowing, because we all can do this. And it just takes that practice of doing it over and over, paying attention to it, and then listening to it. And how do you practice is by asking questions all the time whenever you think about it, and then listening for that answer and catching it, right? And this is what we do in Dream Weaving School, right? And this is what I wanted to talk to you about, because Dream Weaving School is open right now, and the ladies in Dream School are completely changing their lives, right? They have connected with the divine. They have figured out what gifts they have that they did not know they had before. They have been able to open up the gates to receive messages from loved ones, past ones, from their guides. They're able to, one of them is like a master manifester, like incredible, right? Like decides I want this and it happens like that fast, right? So like incredible advancements in the quality of life because you are connected and being able to change your circumstances. So like if you're stuck somewhere or feeling like, oh, I don't really like where I am, or how my life looks right now and what can I do about it, right? When you are connected with your divine, with your inner self, with God, with your angels, with your spirit guides, anything that you work with that you want to call it, um, then you're receiving those answers. And then once you're paying attention and taking action on that, then that's how your life starts to change in the direction that you want it to change with ease, right? Because we can not do that and we can just allow our egos to talk us out of things, and then we don't advance. I personally have found that there are 3 months of the year that are my moving months. And August is one. And last year I started my awakening on in August. That's when I made my whole entire, when I came to finally to say, okay, I'm going to do it, right? February is another one. And oh, okay, I forgot what the third one is. But those 2 months are like really, really big months for me personally. And I have found, and especially August, that is like the biggest one for me personally. I have found that I get all of this energy and I want to do something and I have ideas and I look things up that I want to do and I go into it. And then if I don't pay attention to continuing and actually taking action on those ideas, September comes and the idea is gone. The feeling is gone and the want is gone. And all the doubts rush into my mind. And then another 3, 4 months go by before I get that hit again, that inspiration, that want to do something. So for me specifically, August is one of the biggest months of for change and for growth. And a lot of things have happened in my life that I have noticed, for the good and for the bad, where I listened when I didn't, and how my life changed because I listened, or how my life remained the same because I didn't. So one example is when I was going back to college. I did my college and then I skipped a couple of years before I went back to get my master's. And I had the feeling, I had everything, I wanted to do it, and it was August. And then I didn't do it. I didn't take action. I didn't fill out the form. I didn't send it in. And then August came in and he was like, oops, I missed the deadline. Huh, what should I do now? Oh, do I have to wait? Maybe I have to wait till the next semester, which is like in February, another of my months. And I didn't keep looking, right? I'm pretty sure that if you miss a deadline to go to college, they'll take you if you decide to go in late to fill in the thing if classes haven't started. But I didn't have that want in me anymore. I didn't have that fire and that desire of taking action. Why? Because I let the wave go by, right? It's like catching the wave, right? You catch this wave, here it goes. You catch it, and it takes you really, really far away, really fast. And then if you miss it, then you have to stand there and wait for the next great wave to come so that you can catch that and let it go, right? And if you decide to just go without the wave, then you know it takes you much longer to get to the same destination that that big, nice wave was going to get you to, right? So that's kind of like how I see it. That's how it works for me. That's how it works for my clients. And this is one of the things that I wanted to really bring to your attention because a lot of times that's what we do, right? We just we get all of our energy and we're excited and we're ready to go, and then we wait and it goes away, right? And that's okay. That's okay. That there's no right or wrong. It's just that if you want to do a change, then if you let it go, it's going to take you much longer to get there. Like me, right? So when I went to get my master's and I missed that deadline, I waited like 5, 6 months before I could enroll in the next semester that was open for me. So and what did I do those 5, 6 months? I just worked, right? I had a part-time job. I was working for a chiropractor, and that's what I did. I just worked and saved more money for school when I was ready to do it. And but that's it. I didn't do anything else. I didn't advance anything else because I was in the waiting time, which was a really long time. So yeah, so that's one of the things that I really wanted to explain to you. And now about Dream Weaving University, it is open. You get $333 off from the total price if you book by the end of the day on Wednesday. And I have several payment plans as well. I have a 4 month payment plan and a 6 month payment plan. If you want to pay in full, you get two bonuses. One is a one-on-one session with me to heal your ancestor story, which is really huge right now. I have done about 2 or 3 of these this past couple of weeks with my clients. They have cleared a lot of stuff from their past, things that they have been carrying over. Imagine baggage, right? We carry baggage from our ancestors' stories and their souls, and we bring it to this life, and then we are not sure why we keep repeating the same pattern over and over, and where did this come from, right? So a lot of times it's not really yours. A lot of times it's coming from your ancestors and you're picking it up, kind of like a child who sees their mom who is always upset or crying because she has a difficult life, and that child, as a child, absorbs that energy of hurt because they want to heal their mom. And we do this a lot as empaths and as healers, and then we carry that on, which is really not ours. It was our mother, and we took it on ourselves. So this, and then we carry that, and then what happens? We start to see that pattern in our lives, and we can change partners, change relationships, and we start to see the same thing happen again, right? And so that happens because we are absorbing things, and that's just from this life, right? I'm talking about also grabbing stuff from past lives, relatives, and even your own past lives that you can bring on. So it's been a really huge couple of weeks of clearing this. I even did a clearing myself on me because something else came up for me to my awareness, and I was like, oh, okay, now I see this same situation that I always knew about, but I saw it with different eyes, with more awoken eyes, because I was more open and ready to clear this now. And then I was able to do the clearing on myself, right? So a lot of this things are just popping up on my clients, on people, things that are just showing up, and they're like, why, where did this come from? Or some people have worked on themselves a lot, and they're like, hey, I thought I cleared this, and here it is again, and what's going on? That happens, right? It happens because it's a never ending cycle of clearing. We clear what we're able to clear, what our bodies are ready to receive in the clearing at each time. And once that's cleared, then we feel light, we feel amazing, we're able to break through barriers, everything's great. And then once we're like really healed and like really out there doing our stuff, then boom, sometimes it shows up again, and you're like, whoa, I just clear this. What happened? Why is it showing up again? Shows up again because it shows up from a different point of view, from a different direction, at a different level. And it shows up because then you are ready to clear it at a deeper level. Does that make sense? I'm getting like really hot, like spirit, like really moving through me today. So I'm just taking off my sweater because I'm like getting really hot all of a sudden while I'm speaking about this. I get really hot when I'm right on point, and Spirit lets me know by that. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so that's one of the things that I wanted to let you know about as well. Um, that a lot of the stuff, if you are going through something over and over, it just may not be yours. Most of the time, it is not yours. And in Dream Women University, we do that. What I do is I tune into your energy, I tune into your guides, and we see exactly where it's coming from. Where is this pattern coming from? Right? And then once we figure that out, once we see that, then we're able to clear it and get rid of it and move on, right? Another thing we do in Dream Women University is like I really tune into exactly what it is that's bugging you and give you exact homework of things that you need to do during that week or work during that week so that you can clear that and move through past these things before the next session. And we meet 3 times a month, and it's a 4-month container. I've expanded it. It just feels better, like there's more space there. We train our brain to let go of the ego and the thinking mind so that you are able to receive. We do that with an exercise, which is a lot of fun. We create our own portals to connect to the divine. We do activations, we do clearings, we do a lot of stuff in it. It's really an in-depth container that really changes your life, your point of view, your perspective, your possibilities. And I made this group, this container up because I really wanted to help women to move through their stuckness to where they were, right? Why? Because that's how I was feeling, right? Over a year ago, I was feeling like really depressed. I had all of the things. I had my job, my husband, the house, very blessed. Thank you very much, angels and God. But I was feeling empty inside. I was feeling like there's something more. There's something more. What is it? And I couldn't figure it out. And I did meditations. I looked up online. I read books. I have books. And I'm a slow reader, so you can imagine how long it's taking me to read that. And I just couldn't move through it until I actually joined the container that I did so that I could get help. Why is that important? Because once you have someone else to hear you and reflect back to you what you're saying that you're going through, then that's when you're able to move forward. If you're just in your mind and you're not even speaking what your issues are, like we do automatic writing. Well, you can write about things and get your answers. You need to verbalize them. You need to speak them. You need to say them out loud, hear them, see what it is, and then clarity shows up. It's kind of like I can know something for a long time and know it, think it, whatever. It doesn't click until I speak it. And not just speak it out loud to myself, but speak it to someone. It's kind of like when you have that reception, that other person to receive what you're saying, then you're like, oh my gosh, ta-da, right? Now I can see the light. I can see the meaning in it. I can see how that works. And then you're able to get clear on what it was, where it came from, and then how to clear it, right? So those are the things that we do in Dream Weaving University that completely changes the way that you are looking at the world, looking at your life, right? And seeing how you are able to change, right? For the better, obviously, right? And how you can be aligned. And I'm telling you, like receiving these messages and being able to like have a conversation with someone and kind of like ask the question in your mind and then having them answer you without you having to say anything. I mean, just think about that. That's like super amazing, right? And how can you use that for the better, right? In your own life, right? You can help others by asking them questions mentally. You can help yourself by receiving the answers from someone that you don't really want to ask the question to, but you want to know. You can ask them mentally and they will just give you the answer because you are connected. Right? You're connected to the spirit, you're connected to your higher self, and then you're connected to your knowing. And then that has to do with the telepathy that you're able to communicate in that way. And then to have the conversation and be able to tell that person, oh my gosh, I just asked that in my head. And then that person be like, oh my gosh, and I don't know why, but I decided to start talking about this, right? And then you make those connections, and it makes your connection to your higher self stronger because you have that confirmation, right? Whereas you're like going around life getting all of this information and thinking about it and thinking, was that real? No, it couldn't be. And then the questioning, and then your ego telling you no, and then anyone who is not doing work with themselves telling you definitely no, and you must be mad. Those are the things that squish us down, right? Squish us down, and our spirit and our knowing gets squished down. This is why it's so important to have a community, to have someone to work with, because then when you have those things, then you get confirmation right away. And then you're like, oh my gosh, really? And then you have that light that pops up in your head that's like, wait a second, I've been getting this all my life. Or wait a second, I have known this all my life. Or I have known this for months, right? All of those things, those happen when you have that confirmation from someone who can see you, who can hold space for you and see you for who you truly are without judgment, right? And that's the important part, that you want to be able to be seen, to be held, to be heard, right? So that you can grow and then discover all these wonderful things of who you truly are as a divine being. It's just incredibly amazing feeling of belonging, and then finding out your roots, where you come from, right? The ladies on Dream Weaving University have found out their connections, right? um, like which galaxies or which higher beings they are connected with, and then they're able to call on them and read about them, and then like, oh my gosh, yeah, that does resonate, right? And it's different than when you just go doing research on yourself and reading about each one and thinking, do I resonate with this, do I resonate with that, do I? But then once you kind of know, it kind of just really clicks, and it's like, yes, it's a knowing, and it's the most wonderful feeling of belonging, of like, wow, right? Like one of the ladies in Dream Women University is like, I've always looked at the stars, I've always looked up and wanted, like, knowing that there was something else there. um she's got connection to the Palladians, right? And how did she get confirmation? Because during one of our channel sessions, they came through, right? And they tell you, they tell me, they tell, the client what they need to do, what we need to work on, and what needs to happen. And so it is really, really geared and personalized. This is not a container where it's just like a blanket that you do A, B, C, and D, right? This is like geared and targeted to each individual person and their growth and what they need to work on, because everyone is different, everyone has different paths, everyone comes from a different place, and everyone wants to go in a different direction, right? Because that's what makes us unique. So this program focuses on you as the unique individual, and where you need to go and where you need to expand, where you would like to be. That's what it focuses on, right? It's just very intimate and very specific to you. So I can't say that it's, I mean, I have my course set up of what we're going to do, but once we get together on each meeting, then spirit speaks, and spirit says this is what you need to work on. And I always prepare. I always take about 30 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes before each of our sessions so that I can receive from spirit what it is that my client needs. And then I come into the session with the knowing of what that person needs. And I usually let the person speak first and let them tell me what they feel they need and what they feel they're going and what their journey has been. And it is always exactly what spirit has already given me. And then we work on it. So it is it's very magical. It's a very magical place, and it just really, really warms my heart to be able to do this work, to do this work that feels so nourishing to me and so, what's the word? Rewarding, right? It is so rewarding to see that and to be able to be the one that shows them, like, look, this is how much you've grown. This is what you have found out. This is how you've changed, right? Because we don't really tend to see those things on our own a lot of times. It's kind of like gaining weight or losing weight, right? We gain little by little by little bit, and all of a sudden it's like, oops, who's that on the mirror, right? Or why are my pants falling off, or why they cannot a button, right? We don't realize these things. It's kind of like when you go visit a family from you haven't seen in a long time. Now with COVID, that has happened a lot of times, and they're going to see you and they're going to see how you changed, and you may not have realized how much you've changed if if it was a long time, right? Because it happened incrementally for you. But for your family or friends who are just seeing you after a long time, then for them, it's kind of like, whoa, look at you, right? You've grown a lot, or you got so thin, or whatever it is that how you've changed, right? So this is that's how it is. That's how Dream Weaving University works. It's amazing. So just to let you know, I'm going to drop the link in there, and I wrote it down. So if oh, by the way, and if you join in um, and you want to pay in full, you get the bonus of a one-on-one session with me plus 2 extra months of bi-weekly um, meetings with me in the container for support, which is really amazing, right? Because that's where a lot of the magic happens. So that those are the bonuses that you're paying for. Now, if you want to, and it's also $333 off from now until the end of Wednesday. So by Wednesday night, it will be the end of the $333 off, which is a lot, right? So that's one of the things. Another bonus is if you want to join in this week before Wednesday. And you want to go in one of the payment plans, I have a 4-month payment plan or a 6-month payment plan, and I'll drop the links there for you, then you can check it out. Then you can also get 1 extra month of support after the container is over for you. So that is an amazing bonus for you if you're thinking about this. If you want to read more about Dream Weaving University, you can go on my website, which is it is healingthroughyou.com, and you can read more about it as well on that. But I don't think all the links are there. The links that I'm going to drop now have like everything separately for you if you wanted to do that, because I'm only dropping those links from now until Wednesday, and then that's it for that. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions. If you want to know more about this, send me a private message. I'd love to talk with you and let you know how I can help you and guide you and in moving on in your journey. This really came from my heart in terms of I really, really not wanted to help people just be able to wake up and see the differences, that see that there are different possibilities out there for you that are not the norm that you have been taught. So, like, what have you been taught? What have I been taught, right? Been taught that you need to go to school, you need to work hard, you need to pay your dues, you need to make money, you need to be happy with that, right? And I did that, right? I worked, I got my master's degree, I taught, I pay my dues, and then that was it. And I was like, that's it? Really? That's it? What else? And then my life was going in this circle, right? It's like get up, go to work, rush home, take care of my baby, feed him, take care of him, whatever he needed, go to sleep, get up the next day, do it again, and it's like, what's happening? What is happening? Where is the joy in this, right? I had joy at work when I was teaching, but a lot of times I didn't, right? When I wasn't teaching the kids, it was just work. It was just mundane, right? And there's a difference, right? You can do something that you're passionate about. You can do something that your soul wants to do. And then that work doesn't feel like work, right? Because you're doing something that you are aligned with your soul. And some of you may be in the right line of work, and you might like everything about it, and that's fine. uh, but then what else? Are you missing something? Is there something else that you are looking for? I was looking for something else, right? I had everything, and I was like, okay, I've done everything that society has told me I'm supposed to do to be successful. And you have no idea how many colleagues in the teaching profession had two jobs or three jobs because they couldn't pay their bills with their teaching um, jobs, right? After going to school, after going to college, and then they had all of these student loans that they weren't able to pay off quickly enough as is intended to be, um, because their jobs just weren't paying enough, right? I mean, is that what it's supposed to be? Like, just working on this rat race of just working to pay a bill? When did you get to live, right? When did you get to feel your soul, feel happy, and feel fulfilled, do the things that you feel fulfilled, right? And at the same time, bring the money in for your living expenses, right? You want to have all of it, right? And you can because you are a divine being. And if you have that thought in your head of like, there must be something else, or I want more than what I have, if you have that thought in your head, that's spirit talking to you. And if you have it, it's because it's possible, right? You don't have any thoughts of things that aren't possible. And start putting the thoughts on the things that you want, because everything that you think about comes about, right? Wherever you put your energy, that's what you make happen, right? So if something bad happens, don't think about that. Don't revolve around those areas, because you will make that happen. Like when I hurt my ankle, right? Hurt my ankle. It was gigantic. That first night, I was literally crying in pain. It was that painful. And I don't usually cry. I'm very tolerant. Like I go to the dentist and I don't use Novocaine. So you can imagine how bad that was. And it was because it was just blowing up more and more. Several people online sent me messages asking me if I had broken it. And the first thing I said um, to myself was no, and get rid of that thought. Why? Because if I think, yeah, maybe I broke it, oh my gosh, it hurts so much, then I'm putting energy into that. And then what happens? Then it would take so much longer for my ankle to heal. Maybe it would have broken, maybe it would have been a fracture. I don't know what it was, right? All I know is that I would read those things and I would block them and send them away and not accept them. And then just look up, because this is my awareness, right? I know that I make my future by my thoughts. So I'm not thinking that way. I am thinking that this is a sprain and it's going to heal quickly. And then I had to move through why it was, right? And spirit had like lots to say about that. Like I was working too hard. I wasn't doing things that were pleasurable for me. I wasn't giving time to my family because it was during the summer. My son was out of school, and I was just so busy working on figuring out things for my business, such as making my website or things like that, that take long, right? And I was just so into that, and I was not living what I wanted to be living, right? And so spirit kept telling me, and I kept not listening. I kept being in the masculine. I kept being in my head, and boom, now you gotta stop. And I did, right? I That night I had to like lay in bed. I couldn't even walk. And dishes were cleaned by someone else, my husband. Dinner was made by someone else, my husband. My son was taken care of by my husband. Food was brought to me like I was a princess, right, in my bed with this gigantic um, ankle. But why did that happen? Because I was not listening to the spirit, right? And so we get lessons like this sometimes, but then you also have to be able to figure out what it is, put your intention on healing, and that's exactly what I did. So I think by day 4, I was pretty much back to normal in walking, and my ankle was still visually big, but everything else was fine, and everybody was pretty amazed about that, including myself. But because when spirit works on us, it's just magical, right? And every single time it happens, I feel that magic, and every single time it happens in my clients, I feel that magic and that awe of like, oh my gosh, really? Wow, that happened? Like it just never gets old. Every time something happens. Whenever one of my clients has a breakthrough, which is all the time, and they see things and they're able to move forward, or they can hear things, or whatever it is, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing, because it is, right? One of the things that also happens in Dream Women University is that you are in my energy. And people who are in my energy tend to really amplify their own gifts. And so that if you have your gifts and you're using them, and then you're in my energy while we're working together, those gifts amplify, and they get bigger and stronger and easier to use, and easier for you to see, understand, receive, and just hold on to them, right? And own them. And then you're able to start to own them. And then I show you how to listen to that, how to see them, how to use your own gifts, whatever they are, right? And I see them because Spirit is telling me, right? They're communicating with me about you. That's how that works. So it's really, really magical, really amazing. And I hope some of you will join me. It's a very intimate place to be, and very, very targeted to the individual, as I said before. So if you're feeling called for this, you can just sign up, or send me a message, send me a private message if you have any questions. Um, it will really change your life. It really will. It's changed my life. I mean, I feel so incredibly blessed, and to be able to be doing this type of work that really fills me up. That and I've gone a long way. I mean, when I finally owned my gifts, I was doing it in the shadows. I was like, nobody knew about it. No, my family didn't know about it. My husband didn't know about it. It was just me and my community, because I was so afraid of judgment, right? The judgment of how it's going to be seen. And it's taken me a really long time to move forward from that. I've done a lot of work on myself, on being seen, on speaking my truth. And now I'm at a point that I'm like, yeah, you know what? This is who I am. And there's, if someone's going to be triggered by that, then send them love, and I can help them if they want that. But other than that, um, this is this is who I am. And that's a really, really hard place to be, before coming here, right? And it's a very hard place to break through and see, and allow yourself to be seen for who you truly are, to own yourself without excuses, without making yourself small, um, for the benefit of others, right? Ooh, that was a really good sentence. Thank you, Spirit. I'm channeling, so that's coming from Spirit. Yes, yes, you don't want to make yourself small for the benefit of others. I'm actually going to post that right after this, because it is so good. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, everybody who is here, listening. I love you so much, and I hope to see you soon. Oh, by the way, Thursday, 11 o'clock, quantum energy healing, free in this group right here. So don't forget to log in. It's going to be really a really great healing to release need, you know, the need to do something, the need to be perfect, the need to, I don't know, work at this place that I don't like, the need to go and have all the things that you want, right? The need. So it's going to be a great healing on releasing the need. It's going to be amazing. All right, guys, I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.